Hello, and welcome back to Way of the Wise Owl. I'm Dagmari Daniels, your life coach. Today, we're talking about something that quietly exhausts so many people, and most don't even realize how much energy it's stealing from them. Over explaining. If you've ever said no, and then immediately felt the urge to keep talking, to justify, to soften it, to make sure they understand, to make sure they're not upset, this episode is for you. And before we go any further, I want you to hear this. Over explaining is not a communication flaw, it's a learned survival response. So if this is you, there's nothing wrong with you. Let's start with the root. Most people don't over explain because they like talking. They over explain because at some point in their life, no was not safe. Maybe you were punished for having needs. You were dismissed unless you justified yourself. You were made to feel selfish for setting limits. You learned that love depended on being agreeable. You learned that conflict meant abandonment. So your nervous system adapted. It learned, if I explain enough, maybe I'll stay safe. If I soften it, maybe they won't leave. If I justify it, maybe I won't be seen as difficult. That response kept you protected once. But here's the part we need to be honest about. What once protected you may now be exhausting you. Over explaining is not just words. It's emotional labor. It's managing how someone might feel, anticipating their reaction, trying to prevent disappointment, carrying responsibility that isn't yours. And when you do this over and over again, you don't just feel tired. You feel drained, resentful, unseen, misunderstood, disconnected from yourself. Because every time you over explain, you're quietly saying, my needs require permission. And they don't. This part is important. There is a difference between explaining and defending. Explaining is optional. Defending feels urgent. Ask yourself this question the next time you feel the urge to keep talking. Am I explaining for clarity, or am I defending my right to choose? Because you are allowed to choose without debate. You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to decide differently. And people who respect you don't require a presentation to honor that. Now let's talk about why short answers feel terrifying at first. Short answers remove control. When you stop explaining, you stop managing reactions. Stop shaping the narrative. Stop cushioning discomfort, and that can trigger old fear. Fear of being misunderstood, fear of being judged, fear of being rejected, fear of being labeled cold or mean. But here's what emotionally mature people understand. Clarity is not cruelty. Silence is not disrespect. Boundaries are not attacks. Short answers are regulated answers. They sound calm because they are calm. Let's ground this in reality. Here are examples of strong, emotionally mature boundaries. That doesn't work for me. I'm not available for that. No. I've decided differently. I won't be continuing this conversation. Notice what's missing. No apology. No justification. No emotional overfunctioning. And yes, some people will react. They may push, question, guilt trip, go quiet, accuse you of changing. That reaction does not mean you did something wrong. It means the dynamic changed. Let's talk about the guilt, because it will show up. If you were conditioned to put others first, guilt will appear when you stop doing that. Guilt does not mean you're wrong. It means you're rewiring. Think of guilt as a withdrawal symptom, not a warning sign. You're detoxing from self-abandonment, and the discomfort fades the more you practice. Sometimes the most powerful boundary isn't what you say. It's when you stop responding. Silence is a boundary when words are being twisted, explanations are ignored, respect is absent, conversations go in circles. You don't owe repeated explanations to people who already heard you. At some point, continuing to explain becomes self-betrayal. Now let's make this real. Your practice for this week is simple, but not easy. Choose one situation where you normally over-explain. Just one. And when it comes up, say one sentence, then stop talking. Let the silence exist. Notice what comes up in your body. Notice the urge to fill the space. Notice the fear. And remind yourself, I am allowed to be clear. I am allowed to choose. I do not need to defend my boundaries. Let me leave you with this reframe. Kindness is not self-erasure. Kindness is honesty without aggression. And clarity, real clarity, is one of the kindest things you can offer to others and especially to yourself. If this episode resonated, I want you to know you are not difficult. you are learning to stop carrying emotional weight that was never yours. Short answers don't make you rude, they make you regulated. Strong boundaries don't make you cold, they make you safe. Thank you for spending this time with me on Way of the Wise Owl. And remember, you don't owe access to anyone who requires you to abandon yourself.